Okay, this video is on how to do the satin stitch. I'm going to show you how to get started, and then I'm going to sew all the way through this piece of thread and show you how to finish it. And I'll have I'll pull off another one from the card, another 2 strands from the card, so I can sew from that. So this is going to be a little bit, hopefully not too boring. So this right here is what I'm working on. These are some French knots right here. I have another video on that if you need to know how to do those. So I have my 2 strands on my needle right now. Again, please excuse any cat noises you hear. I have very interested cats right now because they are curious as to why I'm talking to myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start. I'm going to take this thread, I'm going to pull it through. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going to just kind of hold it. Oops, sorry. It's kind of difficult to do here. I'm going to hold it here so that it doesn't slip out. And what I'm doing is I'm just making a stitch here to hold the thread in place. And what I'm going to do, once I have this first stitch in here, it's pretty much very secure. And I'm going to fill in the whole space from top to bottom. And now I could just hold it like that, and it is secure. So the thread's not going anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just continue to sew. The way I hold my needle behind there is just like this. And what I'm doing, that's Olivia, is I'm, sorry, she's going to headbutt my hand out of the way. I'm just moving it up and down. I'm keeping my finger against this thing, and I'm moving the needle up and down to kind of see where I want to place it. Oops. Oh, see, I made a mistake just there. Sorry, I was talking too much and I forgot what I was doing, so I'm just going to pull that out. I'm going to rethread my needle. If you make a mistake, you want to be able to do that at any point in time. Don't headbutt my hand right now, cat. Sorry, Olivia's very interested in what I'm doing. They all like string. But don't give your cat string because they can easily die from that. So every time my thread comes out of the top, I want to put it back in through the top. Now notice there's a little tiny space here between my 2 threads. I'm going to go ahead and fill in that space with another stitch right there. Okay, you guys gotta go away. I do not recommend sewing around cats. They're obnoxious sometimes. So I'm just going to continue sewing along. I'm going to try to keep it even. If you make a mistake, that's fine. I mean, if you make a mistake, the best thing to do, if you're really unhappy with the mistake, is to pull it out. Pull back the threads out. Take your needle off the thread and pull out your stitches if you're really unhappy with it. If you're not that unhappy with it, you can continue on. If you want to skip this part, skip ahead a little bit, that's totally fine. Or if you want to just hear me talk for a bit, or you might miss some cat noises, or I don't know how into cats everyone is. So I'm trying to keep these parallel right now. Not being super successful. I'm getting a little bit too much at the, getting a little too wide at the bottom and narrow at the top. So I'm going to see if I can correct that a little bit. Would you guys move? So I've got about half of my thread gone right now. So if you want to see the back real quick, I'm going to show the back in a second. What's going on back there? probably isn't very interesting. Looks pretty similar to the front right now. The back is going to look a little sloppy when you're done with this, and that's totally fine. So you should be able to fill in a lot of this space pretty quickly. Sorry, this video is so long, but I wanted to make sure that I can show you from beginning to end how to do this. Okay, I'm starting to run low on thread here, so what I'm going to do in about 1 or 2 more stitches is I'm going to go ahead and switch my threads. I think I got 2 more stitches out of that. Let's see. Yep, this is the last stitch. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn it over, and to finish the stitch I'm going to go ahead and put this just right underneath some of the stitches and take my needle off, and I'm going to cut these stitches, or sorry, cut the thread right off. I'm also going to trim this guy too, just because it's a little bit long. It really doesn't need to be that long. It's very secure in there. I'm going to take off my next stuff I'm going to sew with, and I need to separate these threads because there's 4 here, and I do only want to sew with 2 threads. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull those off. Of course, they're going to get tangled now. I'm going to put this one back on my card because it's kind of smart to keep it from laying around and getting tangled. And I'm going to thread my needle, and I'm going to show you guys how to start the next thread, because a lot of people are asking me that, and it's kind of hard to tell you when you're first starting because there's not any stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this underneath here. So I got a little tangle there. So underneath here, and I'm going to go through twice. And what that will do basically is it'll secure it. So I can basically hold that up and suspend that just like that. If you're interested in seeing that, here's collateral and join. So that's everything right there. Next video will be something else.